Meh. Is this thing on? Okay, yep, that seems to be making a noise. I seem to be making a noise. The air conditioner seems to be making a noise, which is a good thing. Yes. Good evening, fellow survivors of the great heat death of the UK over the past couple of days. Well, that was a few days that was, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay. Tonight will be mostly brought to you by electrolyte tablets and codeine, because that's where I am at the moment. Codeine. Right, tonight. What have I been doing this past week? I honestly can't remember. Melting, partially. That was something I did yesterday, and the day before that, slightly. Blinds down, air conditioner thing on. I say air conditioner, it's a little cube type thing about what, yay big, which you fill with water and it makes a show of cooling things down, and it did. That's probably why I'm still alive. So yeah. Anyway, evening. Hi. Can hear. Good. Excellent. That's good. That's a good thing, Mick. Thank you. Right, where am I? This. I'll get to this in a minute. Right, what have I been doing this past week? I went to. What's that place with all the nice boards and the nerds and the gaming miniatures and the big tables and things. Warhammer World. That was it. Went to Warhammer World with Impart and Joe and Wolf Corgi and Callum, and we had a good time. They had a good time playing 40k, and I had a good time watching them and hobbling around on a sprained ankle and spending too much money, which is apparently what you do if you show up without an army. So if you're going to Warhammer World, take an army. It's cheaper. Bought this guy, which I painted him the other night. Might have been the night of the... I don't know. At some other night. Might have been last night. Might have been the night before. At some point, I painted this guy. And it was hot, because the paint was drying almost before I got it on the miniature. So I'd imagine it was probably last night. Ooh. Oh, thank you, Mick. I was wondering where the voice was coming from. Disembodied voice from the middle of nowhere going... Yeah. I was going to put it down to the codeine, but no. Thank you, Mick, for your tip. What else have I been doing? I genuinely can't remember. I mean, did I show you this? You guys seen this? Yeah, that was a thing that I did a few days ago. And that's from Loot Studios. And I thought, okay, we'll give a goblin a go. And this is the only time you'll ever see me do a sort of light green skin type skin tone, because I like darker, slightly more realistic tones, but I think it works. Yeah, well, anyway, that's from Loot Studios, 3D printed. Other bits and bobs. I've been adding to my collection of Horus Heresy Legion sample miniatures. I think this past week I did this World Eater, who's also a 3D print. When decision made, I'm probably going to start 30k at some point, or Heresy at some point. When I do, I will probably get official miniatures. But now, whilst I'm playing around with paint jobs, hasn't he got tiny arms? When did you just notice that? Big, chunky legs, tiny little arms. Tiny little arms. Yeah, tiny little arms. Anyway, He's probably true scale or something. Anyway, yeah, I did him. And very much on that line, I'm going to be doing. Right, back to the beginning. Rewind a bit. Hi, Jamie. Warhammer World the other day. Immortan Joe had his Night Lords with him, who he had commissioned someone to do the paint jobs on. Apparently, paint jobs are optional these days, but he'd paid someone to do the paint job on them. That's fine. But the guy he'd paid to do the paint job is no longer doing it anymore. So he was looking for pointers on how to reproduce the scheme. He got a list of instructions from the guy he commissioned, which aren't particularly helpful, but we're going to give it a best shot, and I'm going to try and recreate the scheme that Joe had. So yeah, let's get into that. Let's get into that, shall we? Let's get this out of the way, because we're going to need the good old airbrush. Whew. Right, water first. Right. Airbrush. Oh no. Oh no, that doesn't look very clean. Oh, what did you do? That might be alright. I think that could stand being taken apart and rebuilt after a proper clean. But we'll run some airbrush cleaner through it just to make sure that we've got some proper airflow. Yeah, we seem to be okay. So, what do I need? I need my glasses. Where are my glasses? Oh no! Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this could be a problem. There they are. Right, okay. This will not be a problem. I have them. Oh, commission painter. Yeah, that's something I'll probably never be. One, because I like painting. And two, because I will never accept that I'm any good. So I'll never put myself forward in that particular way. Right, okay, so stage one of the... Oh, come on. Don't be like that. Yeah, okay, we're going to wrestle with this. Need new airbrush. Need new airbrush. Right, okay, so let's get the first black primer on. Oh god, that's not. What's it doing? Right, okay. When airbrushes attack, folks, a little bit of airbrush then. Airbrush apply improver that. A bit more airbrush, a bit more thinner in there. Let's mix it around with a brush. I mean, if worst comes to worst, I might just abandon the airbrush and just paint with brushes. Okay, we might be able to get the job done by doing this. But the scheme does call for a zenithal, which would be tricky without an airbrush. But hey, that'll be a worthwhile exercise, I think. Can you see? Is that focused enough? It's not really focused enough. Let me fiddle with the camera. It's a little bit blurry, isn't it? Local camera properties. Configure video. Camera control 40. No, let's have you down at 37 or so. Fly. Okay. Well, see, that doesn't look much improved. Oh, there we are. So I'm just sort of forcing the primer through because this airbrush just needs a proper dismantling and cleaning. I don't know, would that be a worthwhile video sometime? Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It has indeed rolled a 1, or I rolled a 1, or somebody rolled a 1. Oh, come on! Video on transfers? What, decals? Okay. I have a particular way of putting on decals. And it's not what you could call conventional. Right, we're getting there. Slowly. Phew, I'm getting tired. I shouldn't get tired using an airbrush. This should be taking a lot of the effort out, but no, apparently it's just exhausting. Yeah, I think it might be time to get a new airbrush at some point. Some point soon. Anyway, right, okay. So he is mostly primed in black. So empty out the airbrush. I mean, I could just get a base and write Night Lords on it. That'd be fine, right? Anyway, right. I'm gonna have to try and declog this. I cleaned it before I put it away. I did, and I left liquid in it because that's how you keep it clean. But somehow no. Let's blame the weather, shall we? Yeah, let's blame the weather. That's a traditional way of doing things. Right, okay. The next step calls for a coughing fit. After the coughing fit, it says a white zenithal. Now, I'm not going to go with a white zenithal, not just yet, because the ink that I have tends to reactivate if you put anything on top of it, which is less than ideal. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over with another layer of surface primer. do a zenithal with primer. Now this is interesting to me because I wouldn't ordinarily... Oh, look at that. That's not great. I wouldn't ordinarily do a zenithal on a marine. And I wouldn't do this at all, but we're going to give it a go. It's going to be a bit spotty, I think. This may not be one of my success stories, I will just say that. Right, well there's a basic zenithal on that. Anyway, let's get the special Night Lord tickling stick. Right, okay. Right, okay, let's empty that out. What do we have? Right, okay, let's use that. Dip that in there, give it a quick root round. Sounds really suspect because you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just cleaning my airbrush. Let's get some proper airbrush cleaner in there. There we go. Yeah, that needs a proper taking apart. Depending on how long this takes me, I might go into taking apart and cleaning down an airbrush at the end. Okay, I'll put that aside for a minute. Okay, that's off. Good. Right, that needs to be put in some water. Ugh, look at that. That's terrible. That brush is nearly dead. I should give it a go with some of that later and see if I can't resurrect it. Right, next thing's next. You have to bear with me, folks. I'm not firing on all cylinders at the moment, and I've put something away that I shouldn't have put away because I now do not know where it is. Story of my life. Nope. 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 None of that is. Nope. Ah, there it is. Ah! I survived. Right. Palette. Games Workshop palette. So this has got to work, right? Okay. Now, I think I may have mucked this up already. The colour that is called for in this chap's recipe is a colour I would not put on a Night Lord in a month of Sundays. However, we're going to give it a go. The colour is Calidor Sky. And he suggests that if you... Let's get some of that out onto a palette. There we are. He suggests, let's get some cleanish water, that if you water it down to the point of it almost being a wash, and put it over the white, you will get a decent base. So that's what we're going to try and do. I am dubious. I think we might have to go a little off script with this, because that's not right. I think we're going to have to. Right, okay. We're committed now. Let's put this down as the base coat. I think I may have messed up the zenithal. That might be the problem. If I'd thought about it ahead of time, I would have prepared some images to show you what the miniatures look like. I'm sure Morton Joe, if you're watching, you can provide some images of that. Do bigger tips fill the jar? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Yeah, I think this is going to be a disaster story today, folks, but we'll give it a best of British try. Yeah, this miniature is just a random thing I found on Colts 3D. I can't remember who the maker is, but if you look for Night Lords on Colt 3D, I'm sure it'll come up. The Mini did have a little sort of capey cloaky thing on the back here, but it looked kind of janky, so I cut it off. It's not the best print in the world either. I don't think my printer likes the heat. Right. Well, I can certainly say this guy is looking absolutely nothing like Immort and Joe's Night Lords. So, like I say, we're going to go off script a little bit here and see if we can't pull it back with a bit of Moog know-how. Although if this demonstrates anything, it's that Moog does not know how. Right. Right, smaller brush. Where are we going to go? Where are we going to go? Whew, I think we're going to go to Leviathan Blue. Stick a bit of that on there. Get a bit of water with it as well. And I think we're going to try and do a bit of shading. Because the Marines that Joe had were sort of very, very dark blue, but they had this sort of electric blue highlight to them. Which is in no way what I'm managing here, but we're going to persevere. If you're watching, Joe, this may not be the scheme that you were after, but it's a scheme. And will hopefully look like Night Lords when I'm done. And I will try and get that figured out another time when my airbrush is working properly. Doesn't help that everything's drying super fast. I can't really see what's going on. I think if I'd started with the Leviathan Blue, I think I probably would have been in a better place. But we're here now. I think we can bring the colour back up by glazing with Caldor Sky. I think we'll probably be alright. I'm going to give us a once over with Druki Nightshade. Druki Nightshade? No, Drakenhof Nightshade. One of the Nightshades. And once again I don't know what that was. A car, I think. Hey, Cav. Once again, I will apologise. I'm on as hefty the over-the-counter painkillers as I can possibly get, and my thought processes are best described as impaired at the moment. So if I'm chuntering or not making sense, I apologise. Yeah, I might as well not have bothered with the Caldor Sky at this point. Although that said, it's a little hard to see because the paint's still wet, but I think we might be able to make a go of this. I think. Let's get some of that in there. Right, okay. Set this guy down to think about what he's done for a second. Clean the brush. Let's get a bit of that. And we'll start building up our Caldor Sky glaze. It's probably still a bit too. It's probably a bit too wet. There we go. Right. Let's see if we can claw this back, shall we? Maybe a little bit more paint in the glaze. Some more light on the subject here. Alright, so we're going to start working at the tops, the top of the model where the light will be hitting. And we're going to start bringing the colour up. And as this is a sort of a batch painting job, we're not going to be too fussy about it, because what will make it pop on the table will be the edge highlighting. And the commission painter suggests some sort of weird pink for that, which I'm not 100% convinced by, but we'll give it a go. We're trying to recreate the scheme. I think that boat has sailed already, but we were trying to recreate the scheme, so let's try and get back on track with that a little bit. Right, so we're just blocking in Caldor blue to try and bring some of that colour back up. I mean, the paint underneath is still kind of wet, so you're getting kind of a wet blend going on. What were you painting tonight, Mick? I know you've given up because of the heat or something. But what were you painting? "38 Goth boys." Ooh, rather you than me. I suppose it's a good simple scheme there, the Goths. Although, don't they go in for checks? I think they go in for checks, don't they, the Goths? Black and white checks. Okay, I think we're clawing this back slowly, getting back to something that looks a little bit like what Immortan Joe had. And again, I'm trying to keep it fairly rudimentary in terms of where I'm putting colour and how I'm putting colour, and not being too particularly fussy because it's a batch painting scheme. Shame I don't have one of the miniatures for a side-by-side when I'm finished. Just to show how completely unalike they actually look. His miniatures did look very striking on the table. He had a few people coming up and commenting on them. Fine tip black marker. That's not cheating, that's a good idea, that is. That is a good idea. I think I know the markers you mean as well. You mean the, what are they called? Sakura or something? Fine tips? Microfine. Right, so we've got a bit of light and shadow clawed back there, which is good. That's what we were going for. Let's get a bit more going on. Cat hair. Again, this is just Calidor blue. Diluted a little bit. Less than the previous layer. And we're just touching up the more raised area, just building that colour up a little bit more. And you'll notice I'm almost stippling this on now. Just really going for the looks good from a distance look. Oh, Joe, I feel like I'm letting you down here. I feel like I'm letting you down, mate. I will get the scheme right, but this ain't it. I'll just carry on trying to produce something that looks okay. But I think I stand by the Leviathan blue as a base rather than the black with the white zenithal. I think that's probably your way forward for decent looking Night Lords. So we're trying to keep this Calidor sky out of the recesses, and just keep it on the raised areas where the light will be catching most. I think that's probably the last pass of Calidor Sky we'll use. We will give it a quick once over with Drakenhof Nightshade, just to get into the deep shade areas. See, I can't even talk properly at the moment. At least 80% codeine at the moment. Right, so what I'm doing there, as it's just going out of light, as I'm just going around the edges with the Drakenhof Nightshade, just getting into the deepest recesses, pin shading with a number 4, ladies and gentlemen. It's got to look good from a distance. Contrast is the name of the game. You see we're getting some depth of shadow there now as well. Yeah, we're starting to get some blends there, that's good. Is that a bit of Calidor? Yeah, let's get bring a few bits back up again. Right. And now, we're going to get some Corax white. We're going to give it a really good shake, because I've just looked inside and it's not good. Good old shake. It's still not great, but then there's Corax white all over. Let's get a couple of piles of that out, because we're going to try something. There we are. Because the recipe calls for a tiny bit of red. What shall we use? Let's use what have we got to hand? We've got some bile red contrast. Let's just use a tiny little smidge of that. Yeah, I'm not convinced by the whole pink thing at all. That may not be right. Yeah, I don't think that's right at all. But in for a penny, in for a pound. And we're just gonna change brushes. That's what we're gonna do. That's way too big for what we're doing. What's that? Will that come? Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, this is paint's just drying way too fast at the moment. Just careful edge highlighting. Oh, okay, maybe the pink's working after all. Giving an almost cell shaded kind of approach, which is a kind of Borderlands vibe. You know that point you get to with a miniature where you're thinking, this is looking absolutely rubbish. And you're thinking about giving up because it's just looking rubbish. That's where I am at the moment. But we're going to push on through. Sorry, I'm not particularly chatty tonight. I think I have been most brutally let down by my airbrush. If that had been working, we might be on a slightly better keel at the moment. Doesn't help that the sculpt isn't the best. But we do the best we can. I'm not so sure, Mick. Honestly, I'm not so sure. I think this might be this might be a back to the drawing board. The elements are fighting me, and the airbrush fought me, and I fought the I fought the airbrush, and the airbrush won. try and get that skull picked out so that it at least looks kind of fearsome. Go. Yeah, I think I'm going to half blame the painkillers for this. If I was firing on all my faculties at the moment and the paint wasn't drying quite as quickly as it is, I think I might have made a better job of this. God knows what I'm going to do for the rest of the hour. I've never really been one for being overly meticulous with edge highlighting either, and with a scheme that kind of relied on it, it's back-footed me somewhat. I mean, it's getting there. A case of pushing on through, I think. So let's apply a bit of dry brushing one up. Nope, that's not. That didn't work at all. That's me, folks, making the mistakes so you don't have to. I mean, he's starting to look okay from a distance, to be honest. Might be able to salvage this. Let's get some red on there. Get some red on him in true Shaun of the Dead fashion. But what we're going to do is we're going to start off with some of that Corax white. Corvus white? Corax white? Whichever, one of the two. One half of crow in Latin, white. You see no mistakes. Which stream are you watching, Jamie? I appreciate your faith in me, however, this is, no, this is not my proudest work. Can't even remember what colour the Night Lord's symbol is. I think it might be red with a white skull, or it might be red with a purple skull, or I mean there's definitely red bat wings and skulls and other comedy vampire frippery involved. Any more skulls on him? Any more? Any more for any more? Nope, no more skulls on him. Excellent. Let's get that skin done as well. Yeah, this is in no way what I set out to do. Although in a way this is kind of an education, and it is teaching me. And what it is teaching me is it's really quite difficult to replicate somebody else's style when it employs techniques you don't normally use. Sorry, I was going from thing to thing. That's my Drakenhof Nightshade again. Trying to get some of the deep tones back again. Right, red. And we're going to use a new contrast paint, because I've got a new contrast paint and I've not tried it out on the channel yet. Gosh, that is super red. It's like instant BAM colour. Bile red is one of the pure single pigment contrast paints, so it is going to be vibrant, and it is going to do exactly what it says on the tin, which is give you red. Okay, I'll fix that in a bit. One silly bat hat. Ah, ah, ah. No idea what the commission painter used for his red, but it wasn't bile red, and it wasn't specified in the brief. And if anyone was actually wondering why I don't commission paint, this is why. Customer says, I want you to paint like this. And I'm like, no. Can't, won't. Let's get his symbol sketched in. Somebody tell me what the Night Lord symbol looks like. Is it red wings, white skull? Or purple wings with a white skull? Or purple wings with a red skull? Or what? It's about to be red wings. Nobody tells me otherwise, it'll be red wings. I mean, I'm assuming it is red wings, because red wings everywhere else. Red wings, isn't it? Don't make me Google it. I'm Googling it. Right. Lord. Feel. White skull, red wings. Thank you, Mick. Well, Joe, I think what we're learning here, mate, is that you need to give up playing Night Lords and play something I can paint. Get the one on his chest done as well. And of course we've got the gold. Hi Joe. When you watch this back, you'll realise how much of a disaster this has been from start to finish. I was saying, I feel like I've let you down, but I will figure out how this guy has done the job that he's done, and I'll let you know. But I have gone off the script right from the get-go almost. I mean, there's elements of what I've done that are right, but most of it isn't. I mean, you tell me, does that look anything like what you've got? Let's get some Basilicanum Grey on the go. Let's see if we can block in some colour on his chainsaw on a stick. And this might start looking okay once we've got the gold on the go, but it's not. It's not winning me over so far. I've gotta say. Bit of Flesh Terror red, which I need to replace because it's getting gacky. Let's get some shading going on in the ball red there. Just get a bit of definition going on.
Tips for the tip card.
Cheers, Joe. I think what the commission painter did is he had some nice bold highlights on the red as well, which were almost white. So let's try and reactivate a bit of that so we don't have to pour some more. I think we're going to have to. Alright. Bit of edge highlighting going on for the red as well, because why not? Yeah, no sooner have I got the paint on the palette, it's almost dry. Which is not great. Right, let's get the gold on there before we disappear into a hell of edge highlighting. Now this is Retributor gold, which the recipe did call for. Hands up who likes Chaos Warrior trim. What have I enjoyed about this? Well, yeah, like I was saying earlier before you logged on, I mean, it's not entirely been a terrible experience. I've learned techniques that I will probably never use again, and I've learned how difficult it is to actually replicate somebody else's style when it employs techniques you don't tend to use. So yeah, it's been worthwhile from that point of view. I just wish it had been a bit more sort of successful in terms of what I was trying to deliver. Plus I'm working an awful lot faster than I normally would about the edge trim. Trying to get it done. Maybe next week I'll do Night Lords the way I'd paint Night Lords, eh? That might work out a lot better. But I think if you follow what I've done, you're going to end up with something not too far off what your Night Lords look like, Joe. Not too far off. think if I had a few more cracks at this, I could probably nail down what he did a little bit better than I've done here. Because I've been battling with all sorts tonight. Right, okay. I need some agrax. Agrax. I do actually have some agrax. Gosh, that's a bit thick. Yeah. The gold was Retributor gold with agrax over the top, which is about the only thing I've actually got right. Because it's very hard to get that wrong. He's getting there. Keep seeing bits that I ought to paint over. I might have to go OTT on agrax in a minute. It may go grimdark in a minute. That may happen. I can feel it coming on. get that Caldor Sky back out and just neaten up those few bits that I saw. A few. Right, a bit of neat Caldor Sky just to bring up the blue a little bit. I don't know about in midnight clad. This guy's starting to look a bit sort of in midday clad. Right, let's get a little bit more of that retribution. It's gold knee plates, I think. I was going to do something interesting with the knee plates, but no, let's just do them gold. Right, so we've gone over the all the gold and retributor gold in Agrax. But if we come back in with a little bit of retributor, we can start raising the highlights back up again and start giving that metallic sense of metallicness back to it. Just here and there. Bit of the old bright metal where it might be catching the light, or where the pattern is sort of worn off a bit. Ah. And the iodine blue. So I'm just trying to neaten things up a little bit. There we are. But let's just go around the model again with a little of iodine blue. Just to deepen the shadows, create a little bit more contrast, and cover up where I've messed up. Sincerely tempted to yeet this out the window. So I'm just trying to build some of that contrast back in with the Leviathan blue here. I'm sure I've already said that. Trying to work out what's going on with his hand here. He looks like he ought to be holding something. But I don't know. Oh, don't you be sorry, Joe. It's not your fault. I didn't really have time to practice. This is this is the test model. Let's call it that. Yeah, test model. And as test model go, as down as I am on my own painting skills, it doesn't. It's not the worst I've done by any stretch. He doesn't look too bad. Just doesn't look like my style. That's all. What was I going to do with him next? Oh yeah. Nope, not Basilicon grey. Not Leviathan blue. Just going to get right into the where did I put it? There it is, Black Templar. I forgot to do the undersuit, which adds a load of contrast in and of itself. So on the inside of the joints, where that sort of ribbed undersuit is, let's get some Black Templar in there, which has the effect of adding some really deep shadows and things. Let's paint that gun as well. Oh, it's a plasma pistol. Oh, okay. Right, okay. What we're going to do now is I could probably stick some metallics on them in a sec. What I'm going to do now is get that base done. So, give it a quick squidge of that. You've seen that before. Fast drying basing glue. Push it around with a whatever you've got to push it around with that you're not going to wreck. An old brush is good for this. I have many old brushes, but I'm using this because I found it first. A tiny bit more. Glue. Right, where's the thing that I need now? Is that it? No, that's not it. No, that's not it either. Is that it? That's it. Right, cool. Keep gaming scenics. Base ready mix. Same as that, which is Grimdark City Rubble, I think. I can't remember what the basing scheme on yours, your Night Lord things were, but ooh, okay. Okay, well that teaches me a lesson as well, because that instantly loads better. Yeah, I'm slightly okay with that. And all it took was dipping the base in basing mix. Let's give it a quick once over, see if there's anything else we can do. Yeah, let's give it a quick bit of metallic here and there just to make things. Right, there we go. Some of the silver going on the chain glaive thing. Again, painting for tabletop, you're not looking to be overly precise here, just get the colours more or less where it needs to be. It doesn't even matter if you go over the red a bit, because it'll just look like chips and battle damage. You can even put a few spots on the red just for that effect. Like I say, I wish I had a picture. I wish I prepped a picture of. Oh, that's going to bug me if I don't fix that. I wish I prepped a picture of the of Joe's miniatures, but I'm sure Joe, if you ask him nicely, if I ask him nicely, we'll stick up some pictures of his Night Lords on the Discord, so you can see what I was flailing around trying to emulate. But from memory, that's not too far off, to be honest. We've ended up in kind of the right place. There was a bit more gradient going on Joe's miniatures. Yeah. But as we know, that Zenithal right at the beginning went kind of wrong because the airbrush was misbehaving. But I don't think that's too bad. I don't think... did that whole pushing on through thing, and it came out all right, I think. Let's dump a bit more agrax on the silver, just to tie it in with everything else. I mean, what do you think, Joe? Is this more or less what you were looking for? Kind of looks the part, I think. Yeah? Stunned to silence. Smashed it. I don't think I have. Thanks for the vote of confidence, though. No. Yeah, I think it looks all right, but it's it could be a lot neater. I've learned some lessons from it, so I think if I were to repeat the scheme a dozen or so more times, I'll probably nail it. But that's not bad for a first swipe, I don't think. Monkey bikes. Don't you just love them? Monkey bikes. The Zenithal. My airbrush happened to the Zenithal. I need to clean out my airbrush properly, dismantle it, take it apart, and put it back together again and clean it. But for now, with it being 9:30, I think we've done our 2 hours. I'd like to say I'm happy with that, but I'm not. But you know, I don't think it looks too bad, really. Give it the arm's length test. Yeah, I mean, it passes the arm's length test. It look okay on the table. Not too bad. Whew, right. Well, it's been a bit of a hectic one, chaps. Thanks for tuning in and bearing with me. You guys are already subscribed and stuff like that, but yeah, hit the like button and comment and all that good stuff. And I guess I'll see you next week, but I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I'll do Night Lords again, but my style. How about that? Does that sound like a good plan? Yeah. Ugh. Right. On that happy note, I should bid you all a fond farewell, and see you on the next one. Ta-ta for now, as they do say.